By the system, a local man beat the odds growing up in foster care, and he says 2 social workers really helped him become the man he is today. 9 on Your Side's Lucy May has Robert Johnson's story and his message for families currently in the foster care system.
Robert Johnson works hard to be the father he never had as a little boy.
I grew up in foster care. First, I was adopted at age 3. Prior to age 3, I don't know the circumstances were. So I've never met my real parents. All I remember was being adopted, and that adoption was very abusive.
Child welfare workers removed Johnson from his adoptive mother's home when he was 8, and he grew up in foster care. It's a life that leads to homelessness, unemployment, and even jail for far too many kids. But Johnson beat the odds. He has a beautiful family, works as a supervisor for the Children's Home of Cincinnati, and is a worship leader and musician at his church, New Life Covenant, Cincinnati.
It's amazing how he turned out. He's an awesome husband and an awesome father. He didn't allow his environment to keep him down or to change him. I'm just proud of him.
God helped guide Johnson, he says, but there also were 2 social workers that made all the difference in his young life. One was Paula Zoe, who died in 2016. The other was this woman, Natasha Christian-Beasley, who still works for Hamilton County Job and Family Services. Christian-Beasley became Johnson's social worker when he was a teenager preparing to leave the foster care system. She remembers it was an uncertain time for him, and Johnson was acting out by missing curfew and sometimes skipping school. Christian-Beasley worked to help smooth things over with his foster mom.
When I was able to talk to the foster parent, she was able to hear that and understand that he's just scared. He's just a scared young man, and we need to make sure that he has all the tools he needs to be on his own.
She convinced Johnson's foster mom to give him another chance, promising to visit the foster home every day if necessary.
People don't realize moving kids from foster to foster home cause more trauma. It's best for the child to try not to be moved from placement to placement.
Back at his Fairfield home, Johnson said Christian-Beasley's efforts made a huge difference.
She made some decisions that were maybe against the grain that really benefited me. It was, okay, I support you, what do you want to do? And she got me connected to whatever services I would need to move on to the next phase of life.
That support helped Johnson become the man he is today, embracing his life with his wife London, their son RJ, and his work at New Life Covenant. It's the kind of foster care story we don't hear much about, but Christian-Beasley said happy outcomes happen more than people might think.
It's been thousands, thousands of families and children that I have worked with along the way.
What's less common is for one of those children to reach out and say thank you after they're all grown up. For 9 on Your Side, I'm Lucy May.
Joining me now is 9 on Your Side's Lucy May. And Lucy, Robert Johnson was helped by the efforts and attention of a JFS worker, but there are many organizations out there that provide opportunities to mentor our youth in the tri-state. What are they?
There sure are. Yeah. Just a few of them that we have on the website with the story are Cincinnati Youth Collaborative has a terrific mentoring program, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and one that's a little newer in the tri-state, the DAD Initiative, which is really focused on young boys and men specifically and helping them with tremendous and strong male role models.
And they're all accessible.
Yes, they sure are. Yep.
How did you find out about this story?
It was actually another source of mine, a woman who runs a nonprofit called the Invisible Kids Project that advocates for children and youth in foster care and the caseworkers who work with them. She met Robert and heard his story and really told him, I think you should share this. I think you should tell it, and really encouraged him to share the story with me.
Well, folks need to hear those success stories because they are out there.
Yes.
We often tell the stories that don't work.
Right. And I think those are important to tell too. I mean, people count on the child welfare system to keep children safe. That's what it's supposed to do. It's a difficult job. It's a very thankless job for the frontline social workers and caseworkers who are on these cases, and when something goes wrong, the public needs to know. But I think it's also important to show that things go right, and there are young people who can have very difficult circumstances, like Robert Johnson did, come from a very difficult place, and because of the love and attention of some people who really cared about what happened to him, he came out of the other side and is now a very successful, happy adult.
Lucy May, thank you for the story, and you can read more about it on WCPO.com.